In this section, I'm going to talk a little bit about listing and optimization strategies for your Amazon product listing. So previously, you created an initial listing in order to create the paperwork that needed to be sent to the supplier, that they needed to put in a box before sending it to Amazon's fulfillment center. So you've already created an initial listing, and now you will need to optimize it in order to receive the maximum amount of exposure, traffic, and have good high conversion rate as well. The funny thing is that if you look at a lot of products on Amazon and a lot of sellers, they really make very little effort with their product listings, and it always amazes me really, because just with a tiny bit of effort you could literally double your conversion rate by spending an hour or two, but people just generally don't, and I don't know why, but they don't. But that's a good opportunity for you, because you can really stand out against the competition. And when someone is looking at your product listing versus another one, if your product listing looks as though more effort has been put into it, more effort's been put into the images, to the wording, to the description, to the bullet points, to the title, then just by default they're going to be more attracted to your product, and they're going to be more likely to buy it over another product. And so it's really worth spending a lot of time doing this. When it gets complicated is when you have lots of different products. In one account I have over 1,000 products, 1,000 SKUs, and then it gets quite difficult. They're just sort of variations of a certain type of product, but which I don't recommend you do, by the way. But in that instance, it can get quite tricky to optimize everything correctly. But if you only have a single product or one or two products, it doesn't take very long. You just need to really put a lot of effort into it, and you'll see incredible results just by being better than everyone else. It's quite that simple. In this section, in this manual, I have again listed everything out in terms of what you need to do, and I think it's going to be easier to read through rather than me explain each section. It's everything I would say is written, and I think it's going to be easier for you to read it and follow the instructions, because you'll kind of need to do this in a step-by-step fashion. The elements are the vital info tab, the offer tab, the images, the description, the keywords, and the more details tab. And the reason why I'm not going to go through this precisely in a video is really because it actually these elements differ depending on what you're selling. So in the more detailed section is that's going to be different in one category than it would be in another, and it's the same some of these other elements as well, like the main product description and the product information is different in one category than it is another. So it's best just to sort of read through this and look at your account. So I think this is the reason why it's best just to read through this versus me sort of explain every single element, because actually it differs slightly depending on what you're selling and the category that the product that you're selling is in. It actually changes a little. So it should be self-explanatory. So if you just read through this manual and follow along, then you should be able to set your listing up to receive maximum amount of traffic and exposure. So follow along and then let me know if you have any questions.